Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Organized Joy channel. I'm really trying to decide if I should change this channel to be the Joyful Company and move away from Organized Joy. I don't know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments below. That would be really helpful. But if you have never hit subscribe below, hit subscribe now. I do lots and lots of videos on how to build your confidence in whatever role you play in your life. So whether you're a leader at work or you're a leader in your home or wherever, doesn't matter. Or you just want to lead a better life or become a better version of yourself or stand up for yourself or take yourself seriously, then my channel is the one to subscribe to. So this month has all been around finding your joy. And we made it that, remember, because it was my birthday, and finding your joy is not just about finding me, but it is about finding that thing inside that you really want, that desire, that goal, that dream, whatever it is, right? And everybody's is different, and it should be different. You all have that one thing that you know you really, really want. Sometimes you haven't admitted it to yourself, but sometimes you have. Sometimes you're scared to admit it. Sometimes you're worried if you say something out loud, that means you actually have to do something about it. But you know what that one thing is. It might be a specific promotion. It might be something new within your home, an alteration or a new section, or even starting a business or taking on something new. It doesn't matter what it is. But when you start thinking about it, which hopefully if you've been watching my channel, you have been, once you know what that one thing is, I think what tends to happen is that we then get consumed with, oh my goodness, like how on earth am I going to get this right? How am I going to do it? What am I going to do? Like, how do I even get there? And that's half the reason people stop, is they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go, they feel overwhelmed. They don't know what approach to take, and because of that they generally don't get to their dreams, they don't achieve their desires. And I wanted to make this video today about how I would go about doing that. Just a few steps for you to try and give you some context and something to start with, right? The first thing that I think you need to do is you actually have to write it down. Now, I know lots of people don't like committing to paper or don't know, or always say, oh, I don't know how to write, I don't know what to say. It doesn't matter. Just write it down. Write down what it is that you want. Because I find that once you put it down on paper, it means something. And you can do that either by journaling, you can write a story about it, you can make a vision board. It doesn't really matter. But you can do all of them, actually, if you want. But the beauty of it is to say, this is what I want. You can then look at it again and again and again. And when you start looking at it, it starts to populate into your mind, this thing that you want. And when it's filling your conscious mind, your subconscious can start drawing from that and start using it to make you dream about things properly, like actually when you're sleeping. Because your conscious mind is always full of all the negative and the worries that you have and the challenges you're facing. So it's all very populated with worries and not dreams and desires. It's all about current stuff that you're rummaging through in your life. And your subconscious uses that conscious to draw on. So if you want to achieve something, you need to put it into your conscious mind. And that's why I love writing it down, committing to it, right? Because when you commit to it, you can see it, you can refer back to it, you can look at it, you can dream about it, you can think about it. And then you start thinking more and more about that kind of stuff. And if you can even train yourself that when you're sitting in the traffic, for example, and you start worrying about something that's going on, train yourself to change your mind into the dream that you're going after. Start thinking about that rather than the worries. I mean, that's an amazing place to be. I do that, but not a lot. I wish I could do it more. But that's the big thing, is that you have to commit to it, right? And I mean, I have my vision board. I'll stick a picture of it up here for you that I use, and I refer back to it all the time. And yeah, I mean, and I change it, but we're going to get into that now. So once you've thought about what this is, and this dream and this desire, and you've committed it to paper, what you'll find is the more you think about it, the more ideas are going to come at you, and you're going to think, oh, what about this, and I could do that, and maybe I should try this, and then there are all these thoughts, and they start coming and coming and coming, and you're not really sure what to do with it, right? And again, I encourage you, when that starts to happen, have a little journal next to you or a note on your phone, whatever works for you, and jot them down. Start putting it all down. Because once you start writing it down, you'll see what needs to happen and what needs to wait for something else to happen, and a plan starts to emerge. And this is what's important, is you need a plan put together so that you can work with it and you can look at it and you can start to establish, okay, what should I do first? What shouldn't I do first? How should I do this? What am I going to tackle first? Who can help me with what, etc., right? And a big thing to note is that this plan will change. It will change lots of times, and it should. You must keep changing it. It's a living document, and once you see things, you will see what else you can do or what you should change. And when you start living with some of that plan and you actually start, it starts to all start to flow, and you see what else needs to change for it. Right? So a plan is essential, but the next part is even more essential, is that once you've written down all the stuff you know you need to do and you start grouping it into what you need to do, make sure you put it into manageable chunks. It needs to be things you can achieve. So for example, if you're wanting to lose weight, right, and you've got 50 pounds to lose, to tell yourself you've got 50 pounds to lose and you're going to start tomorrow and you're going to just stop eating sugar and carbs and this and that, and you're going to change this and you're not going to drink and you're not going to this. It's a lot, right? And by day 3, when you are wobbling a little bit and having a tough day, and maybe you give in and have a piece of bread, you suddenly beat yourself up because you start saying to yourself, well, I'm never going to do this. It's so difficult. 50 pounds, holy crap, that's a lot, right? But if you break it into sections and you break it down and you go, okay, this week I'm going to make sure I build exercise into my routine. And next week, once you've managed to do that and you start seeing a difference and maybe you've lost a few pounds, then you say, okay, I'm not going to have any carbs or any bad carbs. I'm only going to do good carbs. And so you start building it up and it becomes manageable. So it's the same thing if you're starting a business. What do you need to do first versus not do first? What needs to wait for other stuff to happen? But don't worry about the stuff that has to wait. Deal with what you need to do now. Do it in chunks and manageable chunks. The important thing about the plan as well is that you have to actually set aside time to do it. And then you have to monitor the plan. So I was talking a little bit about this already. But you have to set aside some time to keep reviewing it and go back to it. And like, has something changed? Would I rather do this? Would I rather do that? How can I evolve it? How can I monitor what I'm doing? And am I getting there? And what am I now thinking about? It's very important. You have to actually dedicate some time to this. It doesn't just come and it doesn't just fall into your lap, guys. It never does. You have to put the work in. If you want it bad enough, you put the work in. And don't be scared of altering the plan. It's okay. It should change. I know I've said this already, but it's really important. Don't think like, oh, I've put this plan down and that's it and that's how it must be. And oh my God, there's a wobble and it's not working out. So, oh my God, let me just stop. That's not the point. It's not what you should do. You need to do it in chunks, and it needs to be manageable, and it needs to be monitored and altered. Then a very key thing is to create what... it's a little trick that I got out of this book, Think and Grow Rich. I've spoken about it before on my channel, but it talks about creating a mastermind group for yourself. So depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve, find people in your life that you can lean on and ask advice or ask skills of that you don't have. So if you're trying to lose weight, for example, having a personal trainer is a good idea. Having a friend who goes to gym with you is a good idea. Having someone watch what you're eating and keep saying to you, hey, are you sure you're supposed to have that sweet straight after lunch? Like, those are the kind of things that you need. When you're starting a business, you need to think about, do I need a digital strategist to help me? Do I know of one? Who's doing really well on social media that I can ask a whole lot of questions of? I'll buy them coffee. I'll give them something in return. And think about that. You don't have to give cash and you don't have to pay them. They may love you enough to do it for free, but you can give them other things. You can offer your service, whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe they want that in return. And that's the beauty of being resourceful. Tony Robbins speaks about this all the time. You have to be resourceful. You have to find those people that you can lean on. And when you find them, lean on them. This whole idea of doing it all by yourself is completely crazy. And I would never do that. You can't do it on your own. Because the last one is the most important thing. You need to tell somebody about what you're doing so that they can help you stay accountable and on track. And they can remind you when those bad days are happening, why they're happening, and what your purpose always was. Why did you start? So you need to find someone, not someone who is going to go, oh, shame, I feel so sorry for you, have a better day tomorrow. You need someone to go, whoa, 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 whoa. You told me you wanted to do this. What's changed? So you're having a bad day. I get it. So leave it today, but start tomorrow again. And someone who will even message you the next day and say, hey, are you back on track? That's the kind of person you want. Now, a coach is a very good example of this, right? And I'm not here to sell myself, but a coach is a good idea. A best friend who is honest is a very good idea. A personal trainer, if you're trying to lose weight, is really great. And what I tend to find happens is that if you invest money in yourself and do it for yourself, the more money you invest, the more committed you are. Like, I know if I'm going to my trainer, I've paid him, I'm not going to not go, because that's just a waste, right? But if I say to myself, oh, I'm going to add exercise into my day, and I have no one meeting me there, no one to hold me accountable, I could skip. No one's none the wiser, right? So it's very important to find that person. Find someone who's going to remind you about what you wanted to do and how you wanted to go about it. And give you a bit of a smack when you're having a bad day or when you're getting down. Because those days do happen, guys. It's normal. They happen. But that's okay. It's completely okay. So those are my tips and tricks for you on how to start finding your joy and how to actually start achieving it. I hope they've been helpful. If you've got any other ideas, drop them in the comments for me below. And yeah, if you like this, give it a thumbs up. It's always nice to see if my content is working or meaningful for you. Not working, more meaningful, I suppose. But yeah, you can see in the background here, these are all my little post-its on the window. Those are all my plans that I've put together. It's something I do all the time. And I wanted to show you my vision board very quickly. It's a bit big, so excuse me. It's actually an old picture frame, but there you go. So it's huge, right? It's all there. This is what my vision is. So I encourage you to do that. Good luck. Let me know how it's going. Bye.